Hello. I've already done one of these videos, so I'm not going to go into an in-depth explanation. I'm just going to let you know right now, this is not a regular tarot card reading. I will not be using the interpretation of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. I will be using Carl Jung's interpretation of the tarot. Carl Jung was a psychologist. I am not a psychologist, so please don't think that I am. I am a tarot card reader. I've been reading tarot cards for about 10 years now. I started with the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith version of the tarot. And at some point I started using this version for myself. I've never really used it for anybody else, but I felt like Chad Daybell was a good person to start with. I do plan on doing Lori Vallow next. I did do a part 1 of Chad Daybell. I did not expect to do a part 2, but honestly, after seeing his reaction to his sentence, his death sentence, I want to. I feel like I have a lot of questions about how he feels about that. So I am in no way a psychologist. I don't want you to think so. I have never taken a psychology class in my life. I am a tarot card reader. I am not predicting I'm not predicting the future. I'm not doing anything like that. That's not what I'm here for. I'm just curious about Chad Daybell's mind, and this is really the only way that I can contribute, and I kind of want to. I feel like a lot of people that have heard about this case have been personally impacted just based on the severity and how odd it is. So this is my contribution. Not that my contribution is necessary or important, but I want to contribute. And I'm going to let you know ahead of time. You're probably going to see my mic stand down here. I apologize. I've had a long day. It just is what it is, and I can't fix it. So I'm going to go ahead. I did pre-shuffle the decks. I did not take out any cards from the deck yet. So everything has been pre-shuffled, so I'm just going to start, I guess, shuffling more. So my first question, I actually have a list of questions. I could probably do a part 3, honestly. And my only person that commented on my last video, because this is only my 3rd video I've ever made, ever. So I'm new here. Nice to meet you. My name is Tara, by the way. So my first question is, how does he feel about his sentence? Oh, I don't want to use this one. Sorry. I do have 2 decks. I did, everything that I'm using was displayed in the beginning. I know some people really like to know what decks I use. But how does Chad Daybell feel about his death sentence? How does Chad Daybell feel about his death sentence? Oh, okay. So the Ace of Swords, so as I mentioned, I'm not using the Rider-Waite-Smith interpretation of the tarot. So the Eight of Swords in Carl Jung's version of the tarot represents a conflict of ideas. So obviously my first initial thought is he does not think that he should get the death penalty. He doesn't think that he's worthy of the death penalty. And then, oh my gosh, eight of Pentacles, and then the Eight of Pentacles in this version of the tarot is manipulation and secrets. Okay, how does Chad Daybell feel about the death penalty? How does Chad Daybell feel about the death penalty? This will be the last card that I pull for this one question. I really only planned on pulling 1, but here I am pulling 3. All right, I'm just going to go with the top one. The Star. So in the tarot, the star is actually a female card. If you saw my first video on Chad Daybell, I basically said that he had no relationship with his mother as a child, and if he did have a relationship, or whatever relationship he had with his mother was through his father, is more or less what I said, and that he does not have he really didn't have a good relationship with his mother. So this is a female card. Okay, this card in this deck is meant to symbolize basically the Virgin Mary, right? I also mentioned in the last video, I'm not from Abrahamic religion. I have no background in Abrahamic religion. Um, I attended youth group in middle school for a few months because my friend invited me. but one day they said, "Okay, guys, we've just been playing games. We haven't been reading the Bible," and then I stopped going. So my knowledge of Abrahamic religion is limited, but I know for a fact that I'm a pagan. It doesn't matter, but I know for a fact that the Virgin Mary is viewed very similarly to a pagan thing. So I am familiar with the Virgin Mary, and she's pure. Like, I mean, she's the Virgin, and she had a baby. She was chosen to have a child. So I definitely still think that Chad Daybell views himself as someone who did not commit a crime. I don't know if he views himself like that because Alex did everything. But I view himself as someone who disagrees with the justice system. I don't feel like he has respect for the justice system. And I want to clarify, me saying that I don't think he has respect from the justice system is specifically coming from the fact that he did not stand for the jurors at the very after he was sentenced. I think he did once, but I think the very last and final time the jury came in or the jury left, he did not stand. So me saying he doesn't respect the justice system is not coming from the cards. It's coming from my observation and the cards. I feel like he views himself as innocent. And I mentioned that this card represents manipulation and secrets. I don't know how that fits into this, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say that I do. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull one card for this. And I feel like I'm going to pull from this deck. I would like to clarify the Eight of Pentacles with this deck. So clarifying the Eight of Pentacles. Oh, that is so weird. Is the Star. Okay. All right. So no. So this, I feel like he views the justice system as corrupt. I straight up think I feel like he's putting the justice system on his light and dark scale. That's how I feel about it. Oh gosh, that is so disgusting. I'm disgusted because I feel like he literally thinks he's innocent. I'm disgusted. I did not expect that. This is actually the second time. In the first reading I did, I actually pulled the same card in each deck too. I don't know. I'm so disgusted by him. I'm going to be honest, I really try to not think about the human being when I watch trials because I've seen a handful of criminal trials, and I really try not, I know this totally defeats the purpose of me doing this, but for the most part, I try not to think about them as a human being and their thoughts, but I'm pretty disgusted by the fact that he thinks that he is so innocent, and he thinks that his sentence is unjust. He doesn't feel justice has been served because there's been an injustice done to him. That is how I feel about it. I know the justice card has not come out, but that's how I feel about it. I feel like he just views himself as completely and totally innocent, and it disgusts me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put these cards back. I'm going to make sure you guys see me put them back because, again, I know people are weird about cards and whatever. I know you guys think I'm, like, performing some kind of magic trick here. I'm not. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle these cards, and then I'm going to, hold on, I'm going to reference my list of questions. So how he feels about his sentence, long story short, he thinks it's wrong. He thinks he should not be sentenced to death. He feels like he should have been let go for whatever reason. He thinks he didn't do anything. I'm not saying that I'm right when I mention details of the crimes because none of us know the details of these crimes. We just know that these crimes were committed, right? So I'm going to guess, and this is just a guess based off of tarot cards, so take it for what you will. I don't think that he actually laid a hand on anybody. I think that Alex Cox actually may have murdered everybody. And I think that because of that, he doesn't like his sentence. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. And my next question, let me look over here. How does he feel about Lori? That was my next question. How does Chad Daybell feel about Lori Vallow? Okay, is this 3? Okay, so we're just going to take these 3 because 3 came out. And I guess 3 is the magic number these days. Okay, so I did mention this in my last video. I'm going to have to double check which cards these are because the major arcana in these cards is... Oh, it's the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man. I need to double check which card this is, and then I will be back. Okay, so for Lori Vallow, how he feels about Lori Vallow. I apologize if these are not straight in the camera. I can't see the camera, unfortunately. Okay, so we have the Ten of Pentacles, the Hanged Man in reverse, and the Queen of Wands. So I'll go ahead and I'll start with the Ten of Pentacles. So how he feels about Lori Vallow. The Ten of Pentacles in this deck means isolated power. The Hanged Man in this deck, obviously it's a major arcana card. The Hanged Man in this deck is a male card, and the Hanged Man is... sorry, I hate to have to go into the meaning of this deck and how it is categorized in a sense. So the Hanged Man is very much is meant to represent, and as I said already, I'm not from an Abrahamic faith, so I don't even know if what I'm about to say is offensive or not. The Hanged Man in this deck is meant to represent Jesus on the cross, and it is classified as the sacrificed son. And then the Queen of Wands in this deck is a stylish mother. Okay, so I'm getting a pretty clear indication here. I'm not going to use the L word. I'm not going to say that Chad Daybell loves Lori Vallow. I'm not. I don't think that he does. I don't think that he ever did. I do think that they were destined to meet, as I said in my last video. I don't think that he loves her, but I do think he views her as innocent as he is. Or as innocent as he views himself. I don't think he's innocent. I do think he deserved the death penalty. But I think he views her as a sacrifice, which is super odd. I feel like maybe I should ask how he views himself, because I feel like if he views her as a sacrifice, look, this Queen of Wands here, I'm only taking this as representation of Lori, as confirming that this is Lori, because if I had gotten just these 2 cards alone, quite frankly, I would not have thought that these were about Lori. So I think this 3rd card is literally just to clarify that he does view Lori as somebody who was sacrificed, and as a card that represents isolated power. I feel, okay, so there was a phone call played in court, right? And it was a phone call that I don't think any of us had heard before. And I feel like he almost feels as though she predicted what would happen with that conversation. I don't think he knew that I don't think he thinks that she knew what was going to happen. I don't think that she was tipped off or anything like that. And I don't think he thinks that. But I think that based off of that conversation happening so close to when the bodies were recovered on his property, I feel like he in some way views her as though she has some kind of prophetic powers that he believes that he has. I don't think he has them. I don't think anybody has prophetic powers more so than anybody else, right? I feel like as human beings, we are all on the same level playing field. I don't think that anyone is overly gifted in respect to the supernatural, I guess is the only way I can explain it as someone who is not in Abrahamic religion. I don't know that anyone is more gifted than the other. I think that certain people are able to pick up on things better, but I don't think that anyone has some special ability. But I think obviously he puts people in categories, and I feel like he has put Lori in the same category of himself as himself. So I feel like he obviously viewed himself as better than, as higher than, and to me, I feel like he views himself, or views Lori as somebody who has prophetic powers solely based off of that phone call and then what happened afterwards. Because obviously she was calling him and in her coded language was talking about contractors not being able to finish their projects because of what they found in the yard. And then a few days, I think either the next day or within a few days, they recovered bodies in the backyard. And I think that instance is something that sits with him. So I'm definitely not going to say he loves Lori. I do not think he does. I'm not getting love from any of these cards. That is not something that I'm getting. I don't know if he's necessarily capable of that. But I'm not getting that. I don't think he has any love for her, possibly lust. I don't think he has any love for her. And I think that he does almost view her as, I think he puts her on a pedestal in some ways. I know he has referred to her as a goddess. I don't think he believed that before, and I don't know that he believes that now, but I think that he would be more inclined to believe that now than he would have before. That's all I'm getting for these 3 cards. I don't need any clarifiers. That's more or less how I feel about that. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to answer one other question that I have, which is, well, on my list I have, how does he feel about his crimes? But I don't think he feels he's committed any crimes. So I'm going to ask how he feels about Tammy's death. And if you would like me to do a part 3, I'm not opposed to doing a part 3. Just let me know. I'll probably do a part 3 anyway, because like I said, I'm brand new here and no one's going to see my videos. And not no one. I mean, a few people have, and someone commented, and I do appreciate the person that commented. Oh my gosh. I posted 2 videos and I got a comment on each video, and that right there made me feel so special. So, yeah, if you want to comment, I will appreciate it. I will see it. I'm brand new here. As I said, I just showed up this week. Okay, so how does he feel about his children? Is that what I said? Oh my gosh. Sorry, I have a list of, there are like 3 questions that I almost added. Okay, so I digress from whatever I said before. I'm going to ask how he feels about his children. And I am going to pull 3 cards specifically, and I am just going to pull them off the top of my deck whenever I decide to stop shuffling. The first card is going to represent how he feels about all of his children as a whole. Oh. The second card is going to represent how he feels about Emma. And the third card is going to represent how he feels about Garth, because I'm pretty sure that's in the order that they testified. I did notice that they did not go to the sentencing. I noticed that they didn't, I don't think that they went. I don't want to say they didn't go because I don't really know. I wasn't there, but they didn't speak on his behalf after he had been found guilty of this crime. So, I don't know. I feel like that's weird, but I also feel like Chad's kind of a controlling guy, and I feel like maybe he just told them not to show up. Okay. So how he feels about his children in general, how he feels about Emma, and how he feels about Garth. You will probably hear me cough and clear my throat. I am recovering from bronchitis. So how he feels about his children is clarified by the 3 of Cups. So the 3 of Cups in this deck actually represents a secure environment. So I feel like whether or not he has contact with all of his kids, this card makes me feel as though he does. I view Chad as a cult leader. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that he was or is, but I view him as a cult leader. And to me, in my mind, his cult was his family and his very close friends. So this meaning secure environment, I assume all 5 children talk to him, if not all, or 6. Is it 5 or 6? I think he has 3 boys and 2 girls, so 5, I think. I don't know if he has contact with all of them. I don't know if they all talk every single day. I know Emma said she talks to him every single day. I don't know that they all do, but I feel like he feels secure in his relationship with his children at this moment in time. Again, I don't know that any of them went to the sentencing, but it wouldn't surprise me if none of them went because he told them not to. That's just a guess. That's just a theory. But he feels secure in his relationship with his children. And then how he feels about Emma is represented by the 3 of Pentacles. The 3 of Pentacles, oddly enough, represents response to conflict, generally. I think that that's a little bit crazy. So, 2 3s even. Wow. Okay, so he definitely feels secure in his relationship with Emma. I'm tying these 2 3s together. So he feels secure in his relationship with Emma, and he feels like Emma will, in my opinion, continuously defend him. The response to conflict, she's shown her response to conflict. She has no issues. She has no issues defending him, and I think that he prides his relationship with Emma, in my opinion. I think that he feels like until the day he dies, however he dies, that Emma will defend him. So this 3rd card is meant to represent how he feels about Garth. A 10 of Cups. So the 10 of Cups is pain and sorrow. The 10 of Cups is pain and sorrow, and I'm going to get a clarifier on that right off the bat. I don't know if he means pain and sorrow and the fact that Garth has kind of been put through it to an extent. I mean, Garth was questioned by the grand jury about perjury. I have a really hard time believing that Chad feels bad about that because, in my opinion, Chad is the reason that his children said what they said. So I'm going to go ahead and get a clarifier from my other deck. That was way too many. So the Queen of Wands in reverse. The Queen of Wands in reverse in this deck. Sorry, I have to take a second. The Queen of Wands is... Oh, we already talked about the stylish mother. That's odd. Okay, so I've mentioned in this reading and in the last reading that he has a poor opinion of women as a whole. In my opinion, again, all of this is just my opinion based off of tarot cards. So again, as I have said before, take it how you will. The Queen of Wands in reverse. The Queen of Wands in reverse. I find it odd that his son is represented by a female card. And I already said many times that he doesn't view women like he views men. Like men are superior, women are less than. And so I understand that obviously Emma's a female and Garth is a male, but based off of this, I would say that he views Garth as less than. Unfortunately, I don't think he has a positive opinion about Garth. I don't think that at the end of the day, when it was all said and done, I don't think that he appreciated the fact that Garth testified. I think that in some ways he would rather Garth had not testified. This pain and sorrow card, I think this pain and sorrow card represents his disappointment in Garth. For whatever reason, I feel like he doesn't like, I don't want to say doesn't like, I don't think he likes Garth. I'm going to say it. I don't think he likes Garth. I don't like that a female card is representing him just based off of how my opinion is of how Chad Daybell feels about women. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you want me to do any more questions or have any other questions that you would like me to answer, let me know. I do plan on doing a video specifically on Lori Vallow. again, the one comment that I got was about his was to obviously ask about his children. I don't know if I feel comfortable delving into them any further. They're not criminal defendants, and I don't know. I think when I started this, I decided that I wouldn't necessarily make videos about people that were not criminal defendants because I don't know. I don't feel comfortable about that. But if you liked this reading, please let me know. I hope that you guys have a great day or night or whatever time it is when you guys are seeing this. Please comment down below if there's anyone else, another criminal defendant that is either on trial right now or has already gone on trial that you're curious about. I'm not sure how I feel about doing it for people that haven't gone to trial yet. I don't know anything about Brian Kober at all. I have not been following that case at all. But if that's something you're interested, you can let me know. I feel like I have enough information on him to be interested in him. But a video on somebody other than Lori Vallow or Chad Daybell probably won't come soon, as I feel like I need to have a certain amount of information before I make a video like this. Thank you for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I hope that you have, again, a great night or day. And please comment, subscribe, anything. Give me as much criticism as you can. I love constructive criticism. I'm not afraid of it. I like it. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.